What's happening, guys? I'm just here on a Friday morning with you guys. Gonna go over a just some of my recent acquisitions. Most of these are from my most recent trip to Young Ones Records in Kutztown. I'm an avid music store hopper. I don't really get to do it as much as I'd like to, or or as much as I used to, for that matter. But when I do, I usually get a pretty decent stack. So let's go through them quick. And eventually I'm going to go through my whole entire CD collection with you. The first couple are, the first three or four of them actually are eBay or Facebook Marketplace finds. We have an original CD press of the Allman Brothers band, Brothers and Sisters. It actually sounds pretty good. It's a good quality. It's an old original Polydor pressing. You can see made in the US, track listing. Yeah, like I said, I'm a pretty nostalgic guy, so I like a lot of early presses. Ted Nugent's debut, original Epic disc. And what I do with these is I put them all onto the computer and rip them in a lossless format on a 2 terabyte hard drive. Like, as you can see, I have in here over 18,000 songs and 52 days worth of music. It's crazy, I know. And only a quarter of the hard drive filled up. I think I should be good. And that was on Facebook Marketplace. I think I paid like $8 for it. Some good jams on that. Booker T and the MG's Green Onions. The only song I know is actually the title track, but I believe this could be a compilation. I'll have to check it out one of these days. It's not rock, like I said, I specify, mostly in rock and roll. Pretenders 2, and this is a rare one of the bunch. I got this off eBay. I paid like $27 for it. It's a Pretenders 2. And it came in this protective plastic sleeve too, which I'll take out quick. And we'll have a better look. Let's try and maneuver it with one hand. And that's actually a flat, smooth jewel case too on the side. So this is early 80s for sure. Anyway, it's a Warner Sire, but a Warner Brother distributed press. Got some Rolling Stone steel wheels. Like I said, the price I paid for it, $1.99. I'll put this Pretenders back over here. I'll get it back in the wrap when I'm done filming. Another Rolling Stones. I got the Voodoo Lounge album. And so this is a week ago today, actually, is when I went down. Some of the ones I get used have broken cases. I mean to replace them or fix them, but a lot of times I just don't get a chance to. The next four are actually, they're not albums per se, they are interviews. That was not. Yeah, right, there you go. Definitely part of a series. I don't really know much about them. I gotta do some more research. They were $5 a piece. I grabbed them. Why not? She got some country. Country's not my favorite music or my go-to. Like I said, it's not what I would choose personally, but at least it's music. I can deal with the country. I can deal with. I'm just not into the whole rap and mainstream pop thing. I just can't do it. Like I said, it's not my go-to genre, but I think I got like 4 or 5 country discs, mostly all Garth Brooks for the most part. That's actually an early Capitol released in, like, I think 1990 or 1991. And so is that. Now this is an album that I know of and I've heard of. It's actually brand new in wrapper, so I'm going to be really careful with it because I don't want to scratch it. But The Firm. Now this one is definitely an 80s pressing. Because look, the center hub is solid. It's not clear. This is what I call a red ringed Atlantic press. in perfect shape. Well, obviously, it's brand new. I really don't know much about it, but I think it's Jimmy Page's band, if I remember correctly. Oh, and produced by Jimmy Page and Paul, Led Zeppelin and Paul Rogers of Bad Company. But I think there is something to do with, I think it does have some members of Zeppelin in there, if I remember correctly. I'm really not 100% sure. I didn't check it out and see what it sounded like yet, but I do have it ripped into the hard drive. Dave Matthews Band. This one's actually brand new yet. I mean, it's been taken out of the shrink wrap, but the seal's still on there. A buddy of mine I went with told me to get it. I've heard some of the songs on here before, but he told me to play it all the way through. So maybe one of these days. Oh, Trippin' Billies. I know that. And I know Crash Into Me. Billy Idol. Now, of course I have, everybody has Rebel Yell and the debut. But I picked this one up because this is from a similar time frame. This one here is 1986. Yeah, it's 1986 album. And it's the Blue Ring Chrysalis. The reason I call it the Blue Ring Chrysalis is for obvious reasons. Most of them are black rings, black ink and a black ring around it. I personally, and there's no other reason just besides looks, but I prefer the blue one. But that's just me. I think they look nice. Billy Idol Vital Idol, which is a compilation. But yeah, again, I didn't think this was the original press at first because it had the butterfly logo over here, and I thought that was a later thing. But if you look at the center hub, it says, has that embossed there, made in the USA. That's a 1980s everything, like early to mid 80s when they had that, you know, embossed in the center hub. So that's a good indication of an early press. And it's not only the Chrysalis that have that. A lot of the Warner Brothers, Epic, those labels have it too. You get Seals and Cross, Greatest Hits. Summer Breeze is the only song I ever heard by them that I know of. However, I've heard it to be a good band to check out, you know, sometime at night when, you know, by yourself or whatever, or not in the mood to rock out, but just something more relaxing. So I picked that up. Like I said, for the price, it's $4. Can't really go wrong. Like I said, and as you saw already, original Warner Brothers press. I like those too. I like the layout of them. I think they look neat. Van Halen Balance. So the only Van Halen album I don't own now is Van Halen 3. I haven't really heard many good things about Van Halen 3, but then again, you can't really go off what people say. Sometimes you just got to listen to it for yourself and see if you like it or not. Allman Brothers bands, like a Greatest Hits compilation. It gets right to the point. Ramblin' Man, Midnight Rider, Jessica, Melissa. So. One of these days I'll have to dig deeper into them. Greg Allman. I actually never listened to his solo album. I mean, I've heard No Angel several times. And when I was a kid, I actually used to think that was John Cougar Mellencamp. Don't ask me why, but I used to. Funny. This is the original Epic pressing. So the Epic distributed by Columbia Records, so it'll be the same. A Columbia disc will be the same, but with the Columbia logo instead of Epic. So Greg Allman of obviously the Allman Brothers band. This is a pretty cool thing. This is actually a set. Jefferson Airplane, 2400 Fulton Street. Sure, it's an actual address somewhere. Probably London or something if I was a betting man. I actually don't really know where they're from, to be completely honest with you. I don't really know much about Jefferson Airplane. They're early RCA pressings. A lot of tracks on them, so I'm going to dig into it. Hopefully there's some decent stuff on there. Obviously, I know White Rabbit, Somebody to Love, like the ones you usually hear on classic rock radio. AC/DC Ball Breaker, one of the AC/DC albums I didn't have. There's not many of them that I don't, but there are a few of them yet, even at this moment, that I didn't get the chance to pick up. up your video. I never had that one before either. 1988 release on a red ringed Atlantic. Look, that was a BMG release. Not that it really matters. I know a lot of collectors don't like them though. The sound quality is the same and the mix is the same and it's off of the same master tape. So to me, who cares? As long as it's on the CD format and there's the red ringed Atlantic. That's all I care about. Well, guys, that concludes today's edition. So thank you for watching, and feel free to comment and let me know what you think. Thank you. Hey, almost forgot. I got this cassette off of Facebook Marketplace too. Funny story behind that was I was browsing around. It's one of those weird things. I looked up a video of his Weird Al Yankovic's a couple weeks ago, and it just came up randomly out of nowhere on my Marketplace. Now, it's definitely distributed by Columbia, but it's definitely an original cassette tape press. And I'm like, I didn't buy it at first, and it kept showing up. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to check it out and give it a chance. The Alimony song is freaking hilarious. You ever get a chance, just trust me, look it up, listen to it. But it caught my attention because I'm like, I'm not a big Michael Jackson fan, although there are some songs on Thriller that I really like. But I saw him like, that's freaking hilarious. Michael Jackson, obviously bad. And the album, instead of being bad, it's called Even Worse. Dude, that is freaking funny. I don't care what anybody says. Got a Bruce Springsteen cassette tape box set. The famous live album. This is pretty neat though, because it's an original Columbia cassette press, but it's got the fancy trim around it. And you see that one, the Weird Al Yankovic one had the most common one. It's just like the regular generic trim. This one here's got the, I always thought it was fancier. But anyway, it's labeled 1, 2. Instead of just being 1 and 2 and having like cassette 1, cassette 2, they did it a little bit differently. Actually, it's the wrong order too. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on this one, it's 5 and 6, and it's definitely part of the same kit because they all have that the fancier trim around it. So I thought that was a pretty cool find. I forget what the hell I paid for this set. I think like $9. Can't really go wrong. And of course, Tom Petty, Damn Torpedoes. I actually don't have this on cassette, but I do have it on CD. But I bought this one mostly because it's, like I said, the MCA cassettes, kind of like how the Chrysalis CDs have black and blue ink. Well, MCA cassettes also have blue and black ink depending on what press you get. And I always like the blue ones, and that's what this is. So like I said, for $2 I added it to my arsenal. So anyway, thank you guys for watching, and again, any questions or comments, please feel free to say them. I'll catch you on the next one.